Guys, there was a video here I would like to watch with you guys here in the beginning of the stream. It is called 7 Things I Wish I Knew Before Starting Season of Discovery.
Blizzard's latest bit of classic WoW content, the Season of Discovery, has now been out for a solid week.
And it's been great.
And what a week it has been for the game. Players uncovering new runes in real time, realms which are so full as a 2-digit number of layers to try and fit everyone in, class balancing happening in rapid order, and so much more.
Honestly, like having this fresh and having it like having them like fix stuff as they go, it really feels like WoW genuinely is back. I love it. I wish I knew rogues are so bad in SoD. Rogues are great. They're one of the top performers in raids and they are insanely good for PvP as well. Rogues are fantastic.
I have to say it's been a pretty amazing start to the season. Genuinely. But now having seen a ton of the content available myself, I've decided to take a step back and consider a few things which would have been good to know about pre-launch.
What the hell is this?
It's not as if the game had a PTR or anything, so nobody would have had a chance to know about these things.
Oh, damn.
But if you're starting off more recently, haven't had as much time to progress your character, or you just want some useful tips, I may be able to help out there. Of course, and I kind of hope it goes without saying, but I'm going to be talking about how things will work in the season, so...
Guys, get your notepads out. We're gonna have to take notes of what to learn here, guys, alright? But I agree with Willie, though. So far, knock on wood, this season has been fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to level 40, 50, and 60, and I've been really enjoying myself personally. So I hope we can keep this trend going and it can keep being fun, right?
Spoilers ahead. If you're after a pristine, fresh experience as much as possible, the internet is going to be a pretty risky place to be. So with all that said, let's make a start. First up is considering the new reputation that's been added into the game. It's called the Azeroth Commerce Authority for the Alliance and the Durotar Supply and Logistics for the Horde.
This can be kind of like a pain in the butt to farm, I will say that. I wish in a way that they didn't make them unique, so you could only carry one of those supply boxes at a time. Because like you kind of like it's a little bit annoying to deal with, I will say. I really don't like that. I wish you could just carry multiple and then you could just farm all the mats and then turn them in, right? That'd be nice.
Level 6 or above, you'll occasionally receive a waylaid shipment from mobs in the open world or from chests. There are actually 2 tiers of supplies you can get as well, and there isn't a clear distinction between the 2 on the tooltip, but you can assume what they are based upon what level the mob was that dropped it, as well as what is required to fill it. For example, a low-level waylaid supply might need Peace Bloom to fill, whereas a higher one might need Bruiseweed. Also, when you get to friendly or above, you're going to need the tier 2 waylaid supplies to progress further. You can hand these waylaid supplies in at any of the new NPCs outside of the auction house in your faction capitals.
I will say it's a cool thing that they're adding new rep and like new ways of like getting gear and stuff like that. But I definitely would say that it would be nice if it wasn't like unique waylaid supplies, right? That could be really good. Good morning, Adam Swagging. So you are up really early. Holy crap. Cockin, good to see you as well.
If you just hand them in as they are, you'll get some reputation and silver. But if you fill them with whatever item they're asking for, you'll get a much greater reward. The kicker here is that the waylaid supplies are unique. So you get one, you have to go all the way back to your nearest auction house, fill a box if you can, hand it in, get your rep, and then go back to questing. And yes, you should try to fill the box as much as you possibly can. Don't go spending all your gold on it, of course. I mean,
it's just painful. Yeah, I agree, Sia. It's like, I wish I could just stack up a bunch of boxes and then turn them in when I have like a, you know, 5 or 6, instead of having to go back and forth, right?
If you have gold, but one of your class runes will be locked behind earning honored with this reputation. So this grind is something that everyone will want to do. In a recent update, Blizzard made the filled boxes non-unique, but there's about 40-something variations of the waylaid supplies that can drop. And I'm going to assume you aren't carrying around 6 pairs of brown linen pants at any given moment. So chances are you're still going to have to go back to the auction house to fill them. Oh, and do watch out if you have an add-on that auto turns in quests. If you accidentally talk to the NPC before filling the box with the item, it's just going to hand it in, speaking from experience.
Oh, he said that earlier. I didn't realize that. I actually didn't know you could hand in the box regardless. So if you do that, you just get the silver, but not the rep. You did that, Mordial. I didn't know you could do that, because I just haven't tried it. I straight up didn't know this.
There. So all in all, when you get a waylaid supply as a drop, first of all, aim to hand it in as soon as possible, and
you always get the rep. Ah, so you just get a lot less rep. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I guess we're learning something here, guys, or at least I am, so that's nice.
Make sure
you can carry 2 boxes if you fill one and leave the other one unfilled. Okay, that's a fair point.
Filling the box with whatever item it needs sooner rather than later. Next thing I want to talk about are realms, because in Season of Discovery, Blizzard are taking an entirely new approach, and are really putting their foot down when it comes to trying to balance factions.
I don't know what you guys think about this. I think overall, it's still a really nice thing. Obviously, it sucks. Some people can't create characters on certain realms because there's like a overabundance of Alliance or Horde or whatever. But I like that the realms are equal, though. I like that the Horde Alliance faction is like equal on all the realms because of it, right? I think that's nice. Full box is 300 rep and an empty one is 100. Okay.
I want to bring this up so you understand how things look, and that in some cases for Season of Discovery, you won't always be able to pick whichever faction or realm you want. Certain realms, basically the PvP ones, are for the most part currently locked for new character creation. There are just so many players on these realms that the servers cannot support more players. On top of that, all PvP realms, including RP PvP, are subject to faction-based restrictions. If one faction begins to outnumber the other, character creation for that faction will be temporarily disabled. We don't know.
I think for a PvP server, that's fine. It's a good compromise.
Exactly what percentage Blizzard are aiming for on either side here, but this restriction has already come into play on a ton of servers. For the most part on the Alliance side from what I've seen, because as per usual with vanilla, it's perhaps the one version of WoW ever where Alliance is the more popular faction. Furthermore, the old vanilla design choice of not being able to have characters of both factions on the same PvP realm has also made a return for Season of Discovery. Plenty of the larger realms begin to queue towards peak times as well.
Oh my
and when
God.
they eventually do,
I am so lucky I got in early on launch, man. People were sitting in long queues.
Raise the level cap to 40, it's going to be like a fresh launch all over again with tons of people coming back. So all these things I've talked about on realms aren't just relevant now, they will be in the future too. Or you can play on a PvE server and not have to deal with any of these really. At the end of the day, it's up to you where you decide to roll, but keep in mind it may be a bit more restrictive than what you are used to. Next, we have professions. So in Season of Discovery, the profession meta has been shaken up quite a bit. And there really isn't a wrong answer as to which profession you should take, as they all serve good purposes.
I think this is a big W. I love that Blizzard have made different professions better in some regard, right? Because it's all, at least from my own experience, it's always mining, engineering, that's it, right? But I like that, like, you know, leatherworking is getting some love, and like, you know, tailoring and different professions are getting some more love. I think that's cool. Removal friendly boxes, you get 300 rep, first box,
yellow,
140. Okay, so you can still turn in the boxes, but you just get 100 rep or 200, I suppose, if you're rank 3. Yeah, okay. Sklobenberg, thank you for the 22 months. I actually wasn't aware of that. That's interesting knowledge. What's up, Toby?
The first thing you should know is that we can only train to journeyman in any profession at the moment. That's the tier that caps out at 150. The level needed to advance to expert has been moved to 26, so that is beyond our reach. This includes the book to increase first aid, which just isn't in the game. I went and checked that one. There are a few racials that increase profession skill though, such as Gnomes getting 15 extra engineering, Tauren getting 15 herbalism, and so on. I don't know if this has any impact at 25. I haven't been able to find anything yet, but maybe there is something we need to discover still. Of course, it is super fast to go from 1 to 150 in any profession. Gathering takes longer because you have to go about in the world, but crafting takes no time at all. Because of this,
I think the 25 meta is really, really easy to cap out a character on, but once we get to 40, 50, and 60, it's gonna take more time to like biz out your character, get all the gear, get professions. It's gonna be longer phases. Not longer phases, but they're gonna feel like there's more to do in a way.
So I would definitely suggest going 2 gathering professions on your first character up to level 25.
It's too low. I know a lot of people are complaining that there's too little content and that there's not enough to do in the game. I think for the game being level 25, I think it's quite good. There's a lot of stuff to do for the level range that it is to do. You can level a bunch of alts up. You can, like, you know, you can play on your characters. You don't have to stress too much. I think it's quite good for what it is. Some people don't like it because the lack of content, but I feel like that's people that have just like played like 15 hours per day for the first 4 days, and then they've like burned out, right? Which, you know, a lot of people do that. I quite like these gated phases, honestly, for a season like this. The content being limited makes it better. Yeah, it makes you look forward to like, okay, what's going to be the meta at level 40 and such, right? So I think it's cool. Like, I've started leveling my second alt now, like my first alt, sorry, a warrior. I think it's fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Emphasis on taking skinning plus either mining or herbalism. I think I would go with mining because bronze bars are pretty good at endgame. Now, taking 2 gathering professions on your first character isn't a huge breakthrough or anything. People have been doing this on vanilla forever. For Season of Discovery though, the extra gold income is quite nice
You can actually make a lot of gold farming max level quests or level 25 quests. You can make a whole lot of gold because each quest gives like between 1 and 2 gold. I think 25 is great if the first phase isn't too long. If it's like 4 weeks, then the later phases have more content and the phases are a bit longer. I think you can probably assume the next phase will come out, I would say mid to late January, maybe start February. That's what I would say, right?
Level 25. It'll get you your standard quality of life things such as health pots, the odd green upgrade maybe, but more importantly it will allow you to buy items to fill those reputation boxes and start working towards that goal a bit faster. Aside from this, every profession has new stuff. Enchanters have new weapon oils, alchemists can make a new potion needed for a quest line, and each of tailoring, leatherworking and blacksmithing have a way to upgrade a certain item to an epic version. My initial
I think this is cool. I love this. People already done pretty much. February will be way too late. I think sometime in January will be good. Like mid-January, I think will be a good time to introduce level 40 phase. But will they do that? I'm not sure.
To be a crafting profession that fits your class best at 25. Do note, however, the best crafted item for your main specialization may not always come from the profession which makes the most sense for your class. As for your second profession, I think this one is pretty flexible. I've taken engineering myself so far. We all know how good engineering is in vanilla. It's usually a safe pick, but if you're something else, I think that's okay as well. Now, you may be asking at this point, if you're taking tailoring and engineering, what about making gold? That still does matter in the game, and you're not going to be able to buy all these items without farming gold, right? Well, actually, gold is not a problem at all, and that brings me on to my next point. Because at level cap, the bonus gold modifier is kicking in. What this means is when you cannot gain any more experience that you would have been granted from quests is converted into gold. Here's an example. So culling the threat is a level 25 non-elite quest. Usually it would reward me with 18 silver and 2,000 experience. However, on Season of Discovery, I am level capped at 25, so that 2k XP is converted to copper at a rate of 1 XP to 0.06 copper.
That's insane. So you get 1.5 gold for doing 1 quest. You could do like 10, 20 quests, and if you're level 25 with full biz, you can do quests pretty goddamn fast, right? And then I know what you're gonna ask, like, oh, how are you gonna level afterwards? Well, you can do dungeons for the first few levels, and then you're gonna open up the next zones, right? Like, 1,000 needles. You're gonna be able to go to like the later places in Ashenvale. There's gonna be like Duskwood for the Alliance. There's gonna be the late part of Stonetalon Mountains. You're gonna be fine. I don't think you should stress out about that for sure. So yeah. Use all the quests you have to new quests to level up. I don't think it's too big of a problem, honestly. But yeah.
The value of the quest reward goes up by 1,200 copper. Right? Or in other words, what used to be an 18 silver reward is now 1 gold 38 silver. And some of these raid quests or elite dungeon quests give over 2 gold by themselves. So yeah, gold at 25 really ain't a problem. I did end up doing a fair bit of dungeon grinding whilst leveling too, and I just so happened to have the Red Ridge Mountains area untouched when I hit level cap. I did a full clear of that zone and made somewhere around 15 to 18 gold from quest rewards alone.
Not bad.
I guess the concern with this is one day they are going to raise the level cap beyond 25, and you could have cleared every single quest on the map, but going back to dungeon grinding is still a pretty good alternative. Yes, it's not the most exciting thing in the game to do, and I certainly wouldn't want to do it on every character, but that day...
But I mean, if you have it on your main, you only have to do like, 1, 2, maybe 3 levels of dungeon grinding, and then you have a whole plethora of new quests, right?
When they eventually raise the level cap is going to be so hype. It's going to be like a fresh server release all over again. And do you want to be crowding around every single mob in Hillsbrad or Duskwood? Or do you want to go and play dungeons for a few hours and get to level 27, 28, 29, and then head on to new questing areas? Oh, and our characters are going to be so powerful by the time the level cap has been raised. We will be able to clear through dungeons in record times. All in all, don't worry about gold too much. You get plenty at 25, and when you're leveling, if you can save some quests and do a bit of extra dungeon grinding, that will help. When they raise the level cap, I think going back to dungeon grinding will be a solid choice over quests that you've already done for gold too.
Dude, stockades will be so broken though. Because with all the gear you have, you can get like a full AoE group of mages or whatever, and you could just farm it so fast for XP probably. What's up, AKDN? What's up, dude?
However, speaking of dungeons, let's talk a bit more about them. Because whilst we're used to the concept of a level cap, and that's currently set to 25, the actual end game of Season of Discovery starts before level 25. Pretty much every piece of dungeon content around level 20 or so drop tons of items that will last you for a very long time.
I love that you can like farm your pre-biz in Wailing Caverns, Dead Mines, and SFK and stuff. It's so fun, man. I love it.
In many cases, you won't see an upgrade till you're getting into the Black Fathom's Deep raid. The big 3 dungeons we're farming for both factions are Wailing Caverns and Dead Mines at around levels 18 to 20, and then at or towards level 25, Shadowfang Keep. As we've already talked about, doing a few extra dungeons will let you stock up on quests to complete a level cap for bonus gold. And if you land yourself a rare item such as Smite's Mighty Hammer, Cruel Barb, Venom Strike, Leggings of the Fang, all of those good things, they're gonna last you well into raiding content.
And that's cool. Oh my god, Varigan's Fist. This is like the Paladins. Oh my god. The fact that they can get this is so nuts. Red Paladins are having a good time so far. You got the build? Congratulations, Mordial. That's awesome.
Imagine you're getting your pre-bis from level 20-something dungeons, because that seems very vanilla-like to me. And at this point in time, there will be constantly groups forming to farm gear and level up in dungeons, so definitely make the most of it. Next, I've got a few items which, should you get, you should absolutely be holding on to and selling for what they are worth. As a general rule of thumb, whenever we have a fresh server, if it's a common or above quality item, just send it over to your bank alt. Mailing's cheap and you can sort it out later. But with the changes made in Season of Discovery, some items have gained a much higher value than they typically have. I could probably do a whole video on exactly which items and why, but I just want to keep it pretty short today. Each of these items I'm going to list are either used in endgame level crafting for powerful gear, or are part of a grind that everyone will have to do for a rune. So you want to make sure you're hanging on to fish oil, iridescent pearls, spider silk, lesser moonstone, moss agate, and materials for bronze bars, so tin ore and copper ore and their respective bars. All of these are worth more than usual, ranging...
Bronze bar is so valuable because it's you use it for like the runes and like obviously blacksmithing and engineering and everything.
From a little bit to a lot more. Prices will of course differ from server to server, but don't let these items go for cheap, and certainly do not vendor them. Finally, is something I've been thinking about this season. Where should you put your Hearthstone? Of course, when you're leveling, it really depends where you are in the world, but at level cap, being close to Kalimdor for the raid is pretty useful. Worth a mention for Alliance players, there is a new quest available in Oberdeen, which will have you defeat the first boss of the BFD raid. After you do that, you'll get an item which you can turn back in at the quest giver, and he will then open a portal from Oberdeen directly to BFD. So you want to...
That's why that camp is there!
To make sure that when...
Oh my god! I was wondering why they put that camp there! That's why! Okay, I haven't played Alliance in SoD, so I was wondering what the hell they had like guards there now. What's up, Tooth? What's up, Nyoshi? Okay, makes sense.
During your first raid, you have this quest picked up. I believe the first boss also drops a quest for the Horde, but you just hand it in outside BFD and you don't have a portal because the Horde were smart enough to have more than one flight point in a zone as big as Ashenvale, unlike the Alliance, who are apparently allergic to decent travel routes in this game. I've liked having my Hearth set to Menethor Harbour recently on the Alliance. It's close to the boat to get you over to Oberdeen, and then you can portal down to the raid. It's quite central on Eastern Kingdoms, close to Ironforge if you need a capital city, and you can always take the tram or the further flight point down to Stormwind if needs be.
I wonder what they're gonna do if they make like STV a central hub for like level 40 meta. It's gonna be the same. Horde has Grumgol and they have Booty Bay, whereas Alliance only has Duskwood all the way up there, and then they have Booty Bay. Horde is just at such an advantage with that in that regard.
can also get a boat to...
What do you think about gear score requirement and kill XP for BFD raids? I think it's crazy. What? Okay, I think that's kind of silly. BFD is easy, bro, okay? It is very, very easy, alright? I mean, Kilris and Akumai, they're not hard. You just need to do a little bit of damage, right? It's not that bad, honestly. It's really not that bad at all. But people are... I don't know why people are so... Are people actually asking for gear score? There's no way. No shot. I'm on Wild Growth server and you can see it in the looking for group. That is insane. I feel like what? It's sweaty out there? That's ridiculous, man. I didn't get an invite to Deadmines at level 21 because I wasn't a meta class. Okay, people are crazy. What?
Theramore from the docks too and go up to Ratchet. You might die once or twice if you go north through the zone, but you are going to need the flight point in Ratchet if you're Alliance. There is a room rather nearby there. That's all I'll say. For Horde, Orgrimmar seems pretty well situated for everything you might.
Dude, I would do Deadmines at level 17, man. Bring a full group of level 17. Come on, boys, we do Deadmines. Let's send it. See if we can make it.
It's pretty close to the raid. It's a capital city, so you can do trading. There is Zeppelins if you need to go somewhere further away.
Hortus is
you'd have thought the Alliance, who have been on Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor for however long, would have had better travel routes than Green Space Invaders, but hey, there you go. But that's all I have for you today, just 7 tips which I hope you find useful on your Season of Discovery journey. I've been having an amazing time so far myself in the season, and I'm looking to roll an alt pretty soon, in fact. I'm so glad the level cap's only 25 at the moment, because I kind of want to play everything, and grinding to that level really isn't too bad. Anyways, let me know what you thought about the video and how you're finding Season of Discovery yourself down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching and listening in, and I'll see you on the next one very soon.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for it. Yo, PMCell, thank you for the 3 months. Honestly, good video. I like talking about SoD. I think it's interesting hearing other people's thoughts about it and all the things. For me, myself, I'm quite happy about the level 25 meta. I think it's quite fun. I know some people are kind of bored of it because they just min-max the characters and they're already done and everything, but I'm having fun. Leveling my alts, chilling a little bit with it, and just enjoying the content, really. Good video from Willie. I liked it a lot. It was very, very good. SoD is the best thing Blizzard has ever done. I love the staggered leveling, so I can play some alts and not feel like I have no life rush to 60. 100% agree. I think it's amazing. Hanging out in Thunderbluff and Darnassus has a useful for leveling world buffs. I like that too. Making Thunderbluff and Darnassus actually useful. Really, really good video from Willie there. I'll link it here, guys, and you can check it out. What's up?